It still feels weird watching Dean Smith in any other colors than claret and blue, but the disappointment and the sting of that day and the turmoil of that time seems to be becoming a distant memory. And I actually felt kind of sorry for Dean Smith on Tuesday because the team he helped build was so much better than the team he currently has. But football is a results business, it's a human business, and it's a risk-reward business. And so to pair with today's show, I'm pulling out the very last little bits of my Dalwhinnie Distillers Reserve Double Oaked Edition. It's dwindling and fading like the Dean Smith era is, which is a little bit sad. And by the way, I think Emi Martinez could have had a couple of these in a cigar during that game. He had that little to do. Let's unpack it. Norwich City 0, Aston Villa 2. Given the COVID news this week, I almost feared this game somewhat, but I was very interested to hear that Steven Gerrard was questioning whether they should be targeting vaccinated players come the January transfer window, given all the problems they've had. And although he didn't want to name the players who tested positive, with no Keenan Davis or no Morgan Sanson on the bench again, Jed Steer, Anwar El Ghazi, we can probably narrow it down. Here it is, the Holy Trinity, the three big issues or moments that define Norwich City 0, Aston Villa 2, starting with the stats, which I like to mix up on occasion, but there was a real anomaly in this game. In fact, statistically, apart from expected goals, this game was almost dead even. Big chances, 1 each. Pass success, exactly 83% each, and a 50-50 possession game. When's the last time you saw that? Shots on target, by the way, 6 by Aston Villa. The best 2 came from John McGinn, the one long ranger that nearly dipped under the crossbar, and then the corner that went straight on target, and Tim Krul had to push it over. Just asking, but when a manager talks about you and says how much he loves you in the pre-match press conference, do you think that might have an impact on how well you play in the next game? My first honorable mention is that the Villa Academy is bearing fruit. And when Steven Gerrard would have taken the job and looked at the entirety of the project and the opportunity, he would have arrived at Bodymore Heath and seen this massive tree full of ripe fruit waiting to be picked, hanging down. And although we can argue how many bona fide, and I'm talking high potential Premier League type blue chip prospects there are, even if you only have 2 or 3 that are legit pushing for first team minutes, that's a good return. And I think we can safely say now that Jacob Ramsey is a bona fide Premier League talent. And Carney Chukwuemeka has been in and around the first team long enough, although younger, but is starting to show. They've just re-upped Cameron Archer. They must believe in him. And I actually think Jadon Philogene-Bidace is very hard done by to not be getting first team minutes, given how great his preseason was and how solid he's been with the academy. But then they've just added Kane Kessler-Hayden to first-team training. Tim Irabunum was on the bench for this one. Not to mention where all the others are going to fit, like where's Louis Berry going to end up in January? You have Swinkles and Bogard, who are highly touted. Brad Young. I mean, between all the loans and the reviews of those players, plus the academy teams, it just feels like we're in a really, really good place with good people overseeing it all and a manager who understands the value of the academy and how important it is to bring homegrown or younger talent through. And I don't profess to know which are the highest touted in the academy, or for that matter, what it looks like at any other club outside of Villa. My second honorable mention was that the set piece delivery was just kind of okay. The best set piece was John McGinn's corner where he went straight for goal, and it was goal bound and required a very good save. But all of a sudden it feels like The set-piece routines have gone a little bit stale, and the delivery has just not been good enough. It hasn't cleared the first man often enough, especially on corners, and Villa had a lot of corners, and they probably could have either scored earlier or buffered their lead a little bit and eased some of the stress for the rest of us. But I do wonder if Steven Gerrard even likes the sort of avant-garde type routines that Austin McPhee draws up, or if he prefers something a little bit conservative. But this is an area that Villa need to keep on top of because it's such an important facet of the game, and over the course of the season they've done very well from set pieces. Honorable mention number 3, and this could have easily been one of the main 3 points, but Norwich City are bad right now, and I feel sorry for Dean Smith because he has a big job ahead of him. And yes, they have some COVID problems and some injuries, but holy smokes. You know, he will have given his namesake, Delia Smith, a big overview on how he sees the club going forward, because that's what he's so good at, creating the cultural side of things, managing up. He's done it at Walsall, Brentford, and Villa. We know that. Then he'll figure out the Norwich way and bring in the right people to make that happen. But, Aston Villa will not have a less stressful game all season long, you have to think. And maybe we should just be thankful for that, given the fixture congestion that's piling up here in the next few weeks, and also this uncertainty over COVID right now. Now, take nothing away from Jacob Ramsey's role in his goal. He started it, he finished it, it was brilliant, but Norwich City were so passive during that entire phase, backing off, inviting him to shoot. And on the 2-0 goal, how can Ollie Watkins and almost Danny Ings be wide open at the back post and onside for a tap-in? And then there was the press as well. I mean, Aston Villa was evading the Norwich press, especially in that first half, with ease. Is that Villa's confidence showing through, or was it Norwich not being aggressive or cohesive enough? Because with all due respect to the captain, if Tyrone Mings can dipsy-doodle through a press while under the shadow of his crossbar, basically, you're neither cohesive nor aggressive enough. Number 3, quite simple, it's the body language. I mean, building off the previous point, Aston Villa should be going into a game at Carrow Road thinking that they will be the dominant team, and they should be expecting to get a result and maybe even a clean sheet. But thinking it and then employing it are two totally different things, and I don't think they would have had that mindset or that application 7 or 8 games ago. And this is the X factor that Steven Gerrard has brought in. Aston Villa have their mojo back. And imagine being the home team and having the opponents come into your manor and playing little one-touch passes around as if it's some kind of a training exercise. That would have been bloody embarrassing for Norwich City and its fans. But that speaks to just how Villa look on the field, how they run, how they play the ball, and just how they are standing on the field. Looks totally different than 2 months ago. Big issue or moment number 2, Wiley Watkins. We have this expression here in Canada because we love our ice hockey that sometimes you got to take a hit to make a play. Winger has the puck along the boards, gets crunched into it, but releases the puck and then creates an opportunity in space for a teammate. Well, just prior to Jacob Ramsey's fantastic solo run, Ollie Watkins with fantastic awareness on the 1-2. The ball's played into him. He plays it right back. Perfect cushioned ball, and Ramsey's able to take off and score while Watkins is picking himself off the floor. And Steven Gerrard, because it happened right in front of him, clocked it right away and said, that's the moment. That's the moment that led to the goal, which ultimately then changed the game. And there were times in this match where I was a little frustrated with Ollie Watkins. I thought he gave the ball away too often, but he ends up setting up a goal, scoring a goal. He has the header early in the second half that's on target, and actually his stats were very good. He contributed so much in the attack and defense. Total shots, 6. 3 were blocked, all of them going on target, giving him a 100% shot accuracy. 3 on target, 3 blocked that were on target. That's pretty good, but creating 4 chances in a game, Villa should have dusted this way earlier. Expected goals, 1.11 for number 11. How about that? And he even does it at the other end with 2 headed clearances. This guy's all over the place. And the number 1 big issue or moment that defined Norwich 0 Villa 2, Carney Chuck goal maker. That's Chuck Goalmaker. I think I should trademark that one. Shocked that it hasn't been used already. Here's a player that came with a big reputation even before he arrived at Aston Villa. Sometimes that can be good, sometimes that can be bad. Oftentimes it means a little bit of extra maintenance and management. But on this occasion, when he was brought in, Steven Gerrard had very specific instructions. Get in and amongst Billy Gilmour to stop him from playing because he's getting more touches that I'm comfortable with right now while the game was still a little bit in the balance. Not only did he do that part perfectly away from the ball, but then he took it one step further. He cushions the ball with his face. Even his face has a soft touch. And then he drives. And he drives and accelerates and glides past his man before fizzing in the perfect ball that Tim Krul couldn't get, nor could a Norwich defender. But Ollie Watkins could. Fizzed in perfectly. Bent into the path of his teammate. All of it happening in mere seconds, giving him his first Premier League assist and dusting it at that point. Let's give Matty Cash some credit for the ball because it was inch perfect and he spotted right away that Chuck Goalmaker was wide open. But after that, it's all the kid who has this stature to him, and he's a big lad and he's still young and he's got tidy feet and great instincts, but it's how he moves. He's so graceful and elegant the way he moves and accelerates. That's the difference. And how about the fro? Oh, the fresh fro. To have hair like that? Whew. Interesting to see how he's managed from here on, because of course we had those rumors a few weeks ago where it felt like his agent was leveraging or pushing for more opportunities or a broader pathway into the first team. But now he's been getting some opportunities, even though they have been limited, and he hasn't let himself down in my books, but my books don't count. It's only what the manager thinks that matters. Let's tally it all up and see where Villa improved. Certainly they did away from Villa Park, and those away points are very, very precious, now up to 9 out of 27 on the season. Another goal for Ollie Watkins against the bottom 6. They're now 7 for 12, and a 5th clean sheet for Emi Martinez. I think he might have a circle around the game on Saturday against Burnley as well. And no, I'm still not bringing the plane back just yet. But if I do, I think I might be calling it Air Dougie, because this guy was very good in this game. And without Marvelous Nakamba for a while and maybe into the foreseeable with AFCON, I think a lot of expectation and opportunity is going to fall on this guy's shoulders. So, tied with Leicester temporarily in 8th, and now Burnley coming to Villa Park. Oh, Burnley, one of the teams that really flummoxed Villa last year. How they took 4 out of 6 points, given how those games went, is one of the great mysteries of last season. But if Aston Villa brings the same kind of application, confidence, chest puffed out front foot, then they'll be in great shape heading to that Boxing Day clash with Chelsea and a very wounded-looking Leeds just 2 days later. Until this weekend, savor the performance and the points and the clean sheet. Be healthy, be well, and of course, up the mighty Villa.